At the end of Taxi Driver, after dropping Betsy to her apartment, why does Travis suddenly look into his rearview mirror, then quickly away? What's with the rearview mirror anyway in Taxi Driver? If you're in the driver's seat, you see the person in the person in the back will see you. But that's not how it's presented in Taxi Driver. It turns out the rearview mirror and the colors used reveal the actual intention of the filmmakers. Stick around because in this video, I'll talk about the amazing visual secrets director Martin Scorsese used in Taxi Driver, one of the greatest films ever made. If you don't know already, Taxi Driver is about Travis Bickle, a mentally unstable war veteran, a loner who struggles with insomnia, which he tries to alleviate by working as a cab driver in the nighttime in New York City. Travis feels upset by the city's crime and wants to clean it up. He becomes obsessed with saving a young girl from being a prostitute and thinks about violent ways to fix the city's problems. The film shows Travis' struggle with his dark thoughts and how lonely he feels. It's famous for its intense story, powerful acting by Robert De Niro, and its dramatic ending. There are spoilers ahead, so stop watching if you haven't seen it already. One of the great mysteries of the film is whether or not the ending is all a dream or reality. After the shootout, the theory is either Travis is dead or dying, and whatever comes later are his last thoughts, or he survives and everything thereafter actually happens. The filmmakers have answered this question. It's the latter. Travis survives, and what you see really happens. The secret is somewhat hidden in the story with the mirrors. Instead of using the mirror as just a cool camera angle, what if it showed Travis what he perceives? It's the reality he actually sees. With this theory, we go back to the very beginning of the film. The first shot of Travis, a close-up of his eyes, has colors changing on his face. More on the colors later. The second time the shot appears, it settles on red. But he's not looking into a mirror yet. We know there's a rage brewing inside of him. He doesn't. He gets a job as a taxi driver and starts to work. The first time we see the rearview mirror of his taxi, it's black. It's never black after this point, and it's unlikely it would be black anyway given the city lights and all the other shots in the film. But only this one time it's black. Travis doesn't really see himself. That's what it could mean. He doesn't understand what's happening to him. He's going through the motions, he found a job and is trying to be normal. There's no future or a fulfilling present. It's all black. Taxi Driver is really about Travis trying to learn about himself. He basically sees the world in black and white, and he hates black, as we'll see later. The next time we see the rearview mirror, we see his face, a close-up. It's the first time he sees himself in his new setting. He's discovering things about himself and his feelings. He's not liking his situation. It's making him angry and more alienated. But this is just the beginning. Then he meets Betsy. He asks her out and she agrees to watch a movie with him. Travis is almost back to normal. He's in a great mood. That's when, of all people, Palantine happens to take a ride in his cab. Here, Travis sees himself in the mirror, then Palantine. He believes in Palantine. He sees himself in Palantine. At this point in the story, this is so because Betsy believes in Palantine. Travis doesn't really care all that much. His true loyalty is possibly for the other side, but he can switch for Betsy. Through Palantine, Travis reinforces his own thoughts that were only simmering up to this point. He is obsessed with cleaning up the city. He realizes that is his true mission. Maybe he's rationalizing it to himself. Immediately thereafter, Iris happens to sit in his car, and he sees her in the mirror, before her pimp Sport yanks her away. It's a glimmer of purpose, his purpose, dawning on him. After this point, he screws up his chance with Betsy, and the next person to sit in his taxi is Scorsese himself. This time, Travis doesn't see his passenger in the mirror. He only sees himself. What the passenger is talking about are exactly the things running in Travis's head. The idea of using guns, the .44, it's all there. And his mission fructifies during the scene. Travis sees himself as the hero of the city. Of course, when Betsy brushes him away, his temporary affection for Palantine goes away too. Now Palantine's a bitter rival, somebody who's as full of lies as the rest of them, somebody Travis needs to kill. This is where Travis looks in another mirror, too big for his room. Here he sees the vigilante, the hero the city needs but doesn't deserve. Anyone else looking into that mirror would have seen a mentally disturbed individual, not Travis. After he tries and fails to assassinate Palantine, he settles for his second mission, to rescue Iris. He succeeds in a sort of way and becomes a hero. He has been finally recognized by the city for the hero he always thought he was. The last passenger to sit in his car is Betsy. He sees her and himself in the mirror, and he can see the real her, or at least he can understand his idea of love for her wasn't real. She was not as important as he thought she was to him. The look on Betsy's face is also telling. Just as she was smitten by Palantine, now she's smitten by Travis. He doesn't love her, he just thought he did because he was lonely. After she exits and walks away, he looks in the mirror, but in a sudden jerky motion. Something alarming has caught his eye. Is it Betsy? No, it's Travis himself. His own reflection catches his eye and alarms him. Why is it alarming? Because for the very first time, he sees his face in red. And this was not an accident. He quickly turns the mirror away. He doesn't like what he's seeing. As the credits roll, his face is wiped away by the city lights. Just as the first view was black, nothing, now it's everything. But keep watching. Out of nowhere, his red face pops up again. It was not an accident. It's the same red face as the beginning. It's a return to his previous state, like a reset. It's going to happen all over again. This was the original interpretation of writer Paul Schrader and Martin Scorsese. Travis doesn't die in the shootout. His ideas just get validated, and he escapes scot-free even though he tried to assassinate a political candidate. It's inevitable that the cycle is going to repeat itself. This time things may get a lot worse. When he looks in the mirror at the end, he truly sees himself the way we have been seeing him so far. The use of the rear view mirror in Taxi Driver is symbolic. The mirror both literally and metaphorically reveals his mental state. The other big cinematic language used in Taxi Driver is color. Everyone who has watched Taxi Driver knows about the red used in the film. If you know anything about the making of the film, you will know they had to desaturate the red in the climactic gunfight at the end. Red not only is rage, but is also action. There are other colors too in Taxi Driver, like green. The lights in the city move between red and green, exactly the lights of a traffic signal. There's also blue, which I'll talk about in just a bit. Yellow or amber and brown by association is the default state of the city. It's also the color of his taxi and the jacket he wears at the beginning. The red shirt is simmering underneath. The city has amber lights and street signs everywhere. At one point, Travis wears an amber shirt and later a yellow t-shirt in his apartment. Amber signifies a waiting state, a sort of neutral, when things are simmering. Amber is also when Travis has no purpose. He's lost, walking around like a zombie. Like in the scene after Betsy walks away, he's against a yellow wall by the phone. Initially, the film was set to focus more on Travis's obvious racism, but the filmmakers decided against it. Ironically though, the guy who gets shot in the convenience store wears yellow, and Travis is not happy he shot him. They are not the real villains in his head. Both amber and green are foreshadowed early on in the film. Green is when Travis finally has purpose. He knows exactly what he's doing, like in the end when he wears a green jacket. Green is also present when he drives around during his brief dating phase with Betsy. He has purpose in life. When he takes her out to a porn film, the lights are all green. I have something to say about the scene, I'll do it at the end. Red is for action. Travis wears red when he asks Betsy out, or takes her out on a date. That's who he really is inside. He's not holding anything back. That's why he has red light on him at the beginning of the film, and it's the very red light he finally sees at the end. He didn't know himself well enough. By the end, he does. All the colors merge together in the end of the film during the credits. Now let's go back to the first time we see Travis, where all the colors of the film are projected onto his face. We have come back full circle. At the beginning, the reflection in the mirror was black. That's because Travis sees people in black and white. Betsy wears white, with a black belt. The first time he sees Iris, she's in black and white. The first time he sees Sport, he's wearing black and white. The two African American men in the bar are wearing black and white. Palantine wears a black suit and a white shirt as well. You're either on his good side or not. There's no in-between with Travis. The last major color in Taxi Driver is blue. Blue could be bullshit or lies. Police uniforms and police cars are blue. All the programs he watches on the tube are blue. The window with the city outside while he buys guns is blue. There's a scene at the end where Iris puts on green sunglasses at the beginning because she has purpose. After a while, she takes them off and puts on blue sunglasses, only for a moment, while he says he can't join her. She's calling bullshit on his excuse. After he says he might be gone for a while, she removes them. Even the card he makes for his parents has mostly blue in the background, because he's bullshitting them. All the colors of Taxi Driver are on that card. And there's a blue ink on the last letter by Iris's parents. It's a formal letter. Maybe they don't really want him ever at their home. When taken together, the mirror and colors do reveal the fact that Travis isn't dead after the shootout. He's just gonna do it all over again. There's one more bonus secret visual language in Taxi Driver that might be of interest. This is the camera move that dollies into or out of a character or setting. It's a definite Martin Scorsese style, and he's used it many times since. I wanted to understand why he moves in and why he decides to move out. For example, in this scene where he first talks to Betsy, the camera moves in, and at a certain point it moves out. Why? I found it instructive. These shots have to be set up and rehearsed, it's not like they are accidents. My assumption is a dolly in is when Travis moves into reality, which is closer to the truth as most people perceive it. When he enters Palatine's office, we dolly into Betsy fast both times. It's almost threatening, even though that's not his intention. But that's the reality. When he sits with her for coffee, the first shot is a fast dolly in. He's most grounded at this point. When everything falls apart, he approaches the wizard for advice. That doesn't help. And as the wizard drives away, we pull back from Travis, moving away from reality. When Betsy leaves him, the camera pulls away. He doesn't understand the reality of the situation and what he's done. With this idea, if we revisit the original interaction at the moment the camera pulls back, Travis tells Betsy what's special about her.
Because I think that you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Whatever he has to say is all superficial.
I think you're a lonely person. And when I came inside and I met you, that you're not a happy person.
He makes a connection because possibly the writer wanted to show a woman who is easily smitten by sizzle over substance. When he says these things, the camera pulls back. She happens to agree with Travis, so it pulls back on her too. I find all of this interesting. The one scene I possibly cannot get in Taxi Driver is when Travis takes Betsy out on his first date to a porn film. Nothing about either character suggests this could be the case. Yes, Travis does watch porn. How many males don't? Travis can be charming when he wants to.
I was thinking maybe, you could listen to it on your record player.
He has the courage to ask a woman out.
Got a present for you.
He knows it's okay to buy her a gift, to buy her flowers, to flatter her. He knows all this. He even has the emotional intelligence to know there is a spark between them. He is confident with women.
Did you feel that way?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
He also has a strong moral compass. He understands that dirt and crime in the city are bad. He doesn't touch the $20 bill Sport throws into his car. He helps out Iris even when he doesn't have to. It doesn't track that a person who is consistent in all this morality will take out a woman he likes to a porn film. He must have gone to school and taken girls out in his youth. He's gone to war, he's seen the world. He sits in a taxi and listens to all kinds of stories. In what world would he think a woman would want to watch a porn film on a first date when he clearly tells Iris she's not supposed to be doing what she's doing?
I'm square. You're the one that's square, man.
How is that logically consistent with his character? What do you think? Did it ring true to you? I just thought it was logically inconsistent. In any case, the rearview mirror and colors in Taxi Driver are a powerful narrative device that adds to the film's psychological depth and complexity. Filmmakers can use these secret visual techniques to enrich and enhance the power of their films. It also explains the depth to which Martin Scorsese must have analyzed and prepared for Taxi Driver. Please rewatch Taxi Driver to appreciate its understated visual beauty. It's all there, I assure you. Thank you for watching. Now check out this next video for more cinematic magic.